Hello there. Thank you so much for being you. Thank you for being yourself every single day. I don't know why this is so uh, hard for me to share, but I have actually gone through a lot of difficult experiences in the last 5 years. And I really try hard to stay in the light when I talk about the things that are going on Earth. The problem with that is there's a lot of icky stuff underneath us that is creating a lot of trauma for us. And we are every day trying to release that to show new pathways for existence. But when we struggle with something that is out of the blue, that kind of eats at us, it gives us a little bit of a dig, that makes us go into like this strange feeling where we're tired for no reason, or we're wiped out. Sometimes we know that it's the astrology or something going on with the solar flares or things like that. It's not just that, though. There's a psychic layer of gunk in the world that is kind of really not always there for our interested in our highest light. And it will play with us sometimes. It will poke us. It will damage our energy body, and we need to rest and recover, and we need to heal from some old trauma that we're revisiting for the 100th time, and we've done all this work on it, and here it is again. It is not all just coming from your karmic ties. It's not just coming from your other lifetimes. These things happen, but they're not always coming from these places. And I struggle with this all the time. I hear the beings that actually do create these journey experiences is kind of what they think of them as. They think, oh, we're going to make you tired so you can figure out that thing again that you figured out before, because we like you in struggle. And that is a dark, uh, uh, it's interesting. I feel like it comes from humanity, actually. It's the unconscious mind of humanity. And this goopy unconscious mind is directly responsible for a lot of the uh, degradation on the planet, a lot of the uh, circumstances that are outside of our realm of um, what we desire for ourselves on the planet. It does create, it has like this mind control aspect. It creates inner voices that are not ours sometimes, and we may think, God, why can't I stop thinking that kind of bigoted thought? I'm a healer. I don't believe this. This is not who I am. And yet here something comes in, and you wrestle with it, and you fight yourself, which is good, because you want to fight with that voice. You don't want it to you don't want to kowtow to that voice. And people have just given into these voices and decided that that's what's real for us, and that's how we should behave and how we should operate. And some of us know better. Some of us know that some thoughts are not our thoughts, and we fight with them as if they are, because we have to own the shadow layer in order for it to surrender. We can't leave it behind as much as we would love to. We have to wrestle with it. And that includes wrestling with our own inner demons. It requires us to go back through family lines and heal generations of trauma and generations of this ickiness that has been passed down from person to person in the family line. So we have all this stuff going on in the psychic layer of the earth that is actually damaging, and we are trying to raise the vibration of everyone with us in hopes that it will heal this layer, and we will not be we want to ascend. I think that that's part of what we're thinking. We want to ascend past it. And something about that doesn't work. We have to actually rise up together so that it overcomes this energy altogether. And we're not living proof that that energy can exist on the planet. And it's not just one person that does it. It's a bunch of people coming up together that do this. And that's why you'll notice that people in your circles are starting to rise up with you. You're starting to notice that they're getting the message. They're starting to get new insights. They're starting to see new things. They're starting to reflect on new realities. And you are one of those people, I guarantee it, that is helping us de-goop the psychic energy that is on the planet right now. And we are all it's all been foisted upon us in a way. We didn't actually actively create this. It was something that got really energized and aggravated in early times of Earth, before Mama Earth could really gain control over our psychic awareness. She really wanted a holistic result. She wanted a planet where people were connected so well that nothing would this wouldn't jive with us at all. It wasn't even an idea. It didn't come to pass. It was the real story. This is what happened. And always that omega point of existence that was created from the get-go is always what we are talking to when we talk to our higher selves. We're talking to that end result that Gaia created for all of us to get what we needed and to be fully connected to each other. So we get to talk to that future. The future is out there. It is complete. It has been made real. And it's ironically the moment that was originally what created the planet, but it didn't happen. The weird story is that humanity came in and said, I want to do everything else. That's too easy. I gotta have a surrender. I gotta have a striving. I gotta have a messed up life sometimes in order to appreciate the beauty in life. If I don't hate something, I can't love something. And that is not Goddess. She doesn't ever say you have to hate something to love something. That is not the way it's supposed to be. And I know that we have polarity consciousness on this planet. And I know that contrast creates outcomes. It also creates ideas. It creates perspectives. It can also help you reflect on something in a new light. I'm not saying contrast can't do that, but contrast didn't exist originally. We decided to make it so. And here we have war so we can have peace. Do you actually think that Gaia wanted us to have war at all? For any reason? We kind of blame God for this all the time. We give him kudos for, we had dark and light. Thank you. And I don't ascribe to that, honestly. I think that I feel and I know based on what I have been learning from the rainbow, which I'll talk about in future videos, is that we are healing this old notion of polarity being a good thing. It is what we have surrendered to and where we live. And what we do is heal it by accepting that the light is shining so bright that we don't have to live in the dark. And that is moving us in the right direction. That is coming into the quantum 5D layer where things are starting to evolve quickly and we surrender to nothing. We say yes to everything. This is where we're going. This is what we want to be. And this whole concept of softening our surrender so we can love more of what we want. What does that mean? Softening your surrender. That is an old idea too. Let's talk about what I mean by that. So when we objectify the idea of powerlessness as a means of surrender, of accepting what we desire, powerlessness, we say we give our power up to God. We give our power up to the universe. We give our power up to source. We are not saying we are powerless, are we? That's the question. Are we saying we're powerless when we do that? And I think what we need to realize is that God, source, the universe, all that is, wants for us nothing but to heal our old negativity and desires that are not in alignment with who we truly are and come into reflection on who we really want to be and what we really want to do and be and have on the planet that we live on. So surrender to the idea that I have to go to the store to buy it and then it comes to me is a surrender too, because our minds are so powerful. In one layer of reality, we actually create things with our mind. I had a friend on a walk have an apple appear in her pocket out of nowhere. Objects can come out of nowhere. That was a great lesson for me. I've had so many stories where things just shouldn't have been there and suddenly they were, and it blew my mind. And I got a little peek into what Gaia meant for us. She said, your thoughts do create things, and you goddess, God, being of energy and power, whatever your identification with this is, you have it in you to do anything with your mind you want to do, as long as it's based in love. Love for yourself and love for others. And that wouldn't include manifesting a whole junk drawer. It would mean whatever you need in the drawer is always there when you need it. Okay? So you may not even have to go to the drawer. It might just be right on your table when you turn and look. Now, that is a big idea, and I'm not saying we're going to experience that anytime soon, but I will say that it is out there wanting to be manifested somewhere. It's out there wanting to be manifested somewhere. Otherwise, it wouldn't have come into my experience and other people's experiences too. Okay? We often attribute this to ghosts. It's actually our minds working in a new dimension of thought where things are really, no surrender is needed at all. So surrendering what you want to get what you want, right? That's the idea that we live in. I have to let go of what I want in order to receive it. And that puts us at odds with ourselves, honestly. I think that this pivoting is a very healthy idea that came out of us exploring magnetic realization, magnetic creation, which we call law of attraction. Pivoting is a very powerful concept, but we desperately need it. And the goal isn't just to pivot into letting go and trusting, which is a great idea. Trusting is really important. And it's not the only ingredient, okay? It comes down to wanting to be whole. Wanting to be whole is the game. And when we are whole, we are losing that thought process that comes from this other gunky layer of reality. We are saying yes to what's new. Instead of being terrified, if we change, we're going to create a whole new world that is beyond our ability to handle, and we're going to be so terrified all the time when we do it. That's the problem. I think we believe that we will not get to do anything good as a result of changing into a quantum realm. And it is not for our highest good for us, in our highest good for us to leave behind what Gaia intended. We want to go where she wanted us to go ultimately. Because that's where the world's living and breathing and continuing on. That's where survival is not a thing. It is thriving. It is flowing. It is divine order. And that is really exciting. We now get the opportunity to be that and to move on from the psychic goop that wants us to stay still, to stay in the old, to release our need to be true to ourselves so we can do whatever anyone else on earth tells us they want us to do. And it's funny because they're doing the same thing. They're waiting for someone to tell them what to do too, and we're all leading each other around by our noses wondering where we're going, and that world doesn't work. It doesn't work. We have to know who we are and want to be that. I could tell you a whole lot more about this, and I intend to in the future. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you and all you are, and your goo is going. It's funny. There's that product called Goo Gone. Well, that goo is gone in the future, so let's say yes to that. All right, don't sue me, guys, for using this in a metaphysical story. Anyways, thank you all for being here. Thanks for you and your gorgeous self and your trueness to you. And wow, this is all amazing, isn't it? This world that we're creating. Let's keep going. Let's make it beautiful. We're here together and we're meant for more. All right, sending you sunshine and love. Looking forward to the next talk.